macro, bro, and this. So. Okay, so this couple weeks we have been going over the characters. All right, so this couple weeks we have been talking about characters that we have to learn because Jesus promised us abundance in our life, right? But if we don't have characters, godly characters, we cannot fully grow our life into the abundance that God has promised us. So this week, actually, I'm going to sidetrack and come back to the reason why we need to build on our characters. We want to search this morning the true purpose of our life. So it starts from the beginning. If we can understand the purpose of our life, then that gives us a reason to build our characters. Make sense? All right, so I'm going to start with this question this morning. What on earth am I here for? Okay, so from time to time we ask, have you guys asked yourself this question? Like why, like what's the purpose of my life? Like why are we alive? Okay? I'm not asking what you are eating today. What are you doing this weekend? You know, what job do you wanna what job you wanna do after you graduate from college? Not just that. It's a little bit more than that. What's the purpose of your life? So 3 questions. Why am I alive? Does my life matter? Is there a purpose? Let me see a show of hands that any of you have asked these questions before to yourself. Good. The rest of you never asked this question to yourself? Good. Albert, never asked yourself this question. Doesn't matter. Andy, doesn't matter. Good. Because, so that's, I think, part of why we come to church on Sunday, because a lot of times we're just living life, right? Day by day passes. It's already March 2026. 3 months have passed, right? Time is going past so fast. You know, if we don't stop and think about questions like this, then in no time, you guys are old like me. And you know, if you don't think about this, when are you gonna think about it, right? So this morning, let us think about these questions together. So a lot of times people think about these questions when they are going through a struggle, right? Especially when they go through some sort of like hardship. That's when people ask themselves, you know, why am I here? What's the point? Why does life feel empty sometimes? You know, sometimes when I watch So I really like this anime called by the name of Demon Slayer, right? And a movie came out, and I really want to watch it, but I don't want to. Like, I couldn't find a friend to go watch it with me in the cinema, so I was waiting it to be streamed online. I waited for a year, right? It finally streamed online. I watched it. After I watched it, I was truly entertained. But after watching it, I feel a sense of emptiness, right? So sometimes when we get something that we want, it still feels empty. Very weird. Okay. So here are 2 examples of how people look at the meaning of life. Carl Sandburg, an American poet, he says, life is like an onion. You peel it off one layer at a time, and sometimes you weep. Okay. Charles Schwartz, American cartoonist, he says, my life has no purpose. No direction, no aim, no meaning. And yet I'm happy. I can't figure it out. What am I doing, right? So everyone looks at life a little different. That's human being, right? We all look at life differently. So sometimes this question comes to us when we're lying in the bed after having a bad day, and let's look at the Bible. Even this is thousands of years ago, Jeremiah, which is a prophet from the Old Testament, he too asked within the Bible saying, why was I born? Was it only to have trouble and sorrow and to end my life in disgrace? All right, so to put it in context, Jeremiah, a prophet, the job of a prophet is to tell the king what is going to happen, right? So a lot of prophets back in the Old Testaments, they have a tough job. They have to rally all the people together and say, you guys are going in the wrong direction. You have to repent, or else we're all gonna suffer, right? So Jeremiah did just that. He told the king at the time, he gave a very unpopular prophecy, right? This is when the kingdom was going great. Everyone was enjoying, everyone was drinking wine, enjoying. That was abundance. But Jeremiah says, come to the king and say, you have to repent because you are not living your life correctly. The prophecy is a bad prophecy. It's an unpopular prophecy. It's a negative prophecy, right? The intention was good, but the prophecy itself is negative, right? So of course, Jeremiah was beaten and imprisoned, right? And this is when it says, God, why am I even born? You tell me to give this warning, but you know what? Why am I getting beaten up and being punished? Yes. The what guy? The fish guy? No, he's not the fish. Deep fried fish? Oh, no, that's Jonah. That's Jonah. Jonah. That's not Jeremiah. So we don't know what's the purpose of life yet. We'll get to it, but we can look at what is not the purpose of life. So number one, the teaching from the world says, look within yourself. All right? Look within yourself. Follow your heart. But what if our heart changes every day, every week? Look at the world we are living in right now. There's wars going on. We are 12 days into the war. You know how many people died in Iran? 10,000 people died in Iran. Because who is following whose heart? We don't know. But following your heart, looking within ourselves doesn't work, because this is our heart. Okay, so when the world teaches us to follow our heart, to be Zen, nah, that's the wrong answer. That's not the purpose of life, because our heart changes. One day we feel confident, another day we're not feeling so good. Our heart is very unstable, therefore it cannot guide us. What is another wrong way to find our purpose? The world teaches us success as purpose, right? In a sense, I think success is a byproduct, but it's not the goal. Okay, success is not purpose. We're told by the world that if you achieve enough, you'll feel fulfilled, right? Good grades, sports, winning at sports, social media validation. That's the three main things that the people are validating for success nowadays. But I saw a video when this guy is going to restaurants and he's saying, oh, I'm not gonna pay for the meal today because I have 200,000 followers on Instagram. Like, what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything, right? People like, wow, you have 200,000. I don't even Mr. Beast don't go around saying I have 52 million followers. So back to the Bible again, this guy, King Solomon, one of the wisest king in Israel. He said, meaningless, meaningless. This is pretty good, huh? This image is created by Gemini. I like Gemini. So King Solomon, renowned for his immense wealth and wisdom and power, famously declared, meaningless. Everything is meaningless. Right? So weird. We are so conditioned. If you look at the price of gold going up right now, it's like quadrupling the price, 10x, 100x, right? Because the world is going in chaos right now. Everyone is trying to figure out what's the best investment. The price of gold. Let's look at real time, okay? Price of gold. Yeah, but if you look at 2024, it was at $2,000. Right now, $5,000. Okay. 4 years ago, $1,000. 2018, 1,000. So, but see, the weird thing is during COVID, it didn't go up. Right? During COVID, it didn't go up. You know why is it going up right now? You know why is it going up right now? No, it's not. No, it's going up right now because people are not believing in another value. What was people investing before gold? So AI, right? Okay, so yeah, partially that's true, but AI is backed by AI. Like the frontier of AI is in America, right? Still right now is in America, and America AI equals to America dollar because America dollar is running innovation, right? But now that people are not too certain about the American dollar, they want to put their trust in something that they can see and they can hold. That's why they're investing in gold. Okay, makes sense. But then again, you're looking at someone as wise as him. This is a drastic illustration of King Solomon, but I'm pretty sure he has a lot of gold, right? Just imagine you sitting in here with a lot of gold. What can you do with those gold? Really nothing, right? The gold itself doesn't really give your life meaning. So the third wrong thing that gives value and purpose to our life is this: I'll figure it out myself. Yeah, I think it's a great invention for lazy people. You know, you walk and you clean at the same time. But yeah. So, anyways, the third wrong answer is that you're able to figure it out yourself, right? So a lot of people say, I create my own meaning, which is not true, because if that's true, then we all have some sort of meaning to our life, right? When you go home, ask your parent that, like, what is the meaning to your life? Ask her that, and then if she can't tell you, then, teach her what you learned today, okay? So it's like building something without knowing what's the purpose of it to be. You don't have the meaning. right? So if you're looking at this and you don't know the meaning, the purpose of this slipper right here, oh, you know, yeah, because you're smart, right? Some people, they don't know. They're like, oh, is it a new trend? Is it something like Labubu, something cute? Yeah. So coming back, if you don't know the purpose, that you cannot find the purpose if you don't know what it is created for. So with that, we are going to find, ask the creator, right? If we go to the creator of that slipper right there and ask the slipper, why did you create this slipper for? Is it because it's a new trend, because it's fluffy and squishy, or does it have a meaning to it, right? So we have to go to the creator, which is God, okay? So if we want to find the meaning of our life, the purpose of our life, we have to ask God. So let us ask God this morning. But before that, okay, so we're gonna look. Without asking God, we're left with guessing, comparing, chasing, right? These three guys, the three most successful and most the richest people on earth. Let's look at what they say from time to time, right? So David Rubenstein, this is a billionaire who said, a lot of tortured souls are wealthy individuals. Okay, this is said by people who are rich. Okay, Mark Cuban, if you guys know him, he's from Shark Tank. He suggested that money magnifies who you are, but it does not create happiness. I agree with that. You know, I think money is very important. It lets us live our life, but it doesn't make us happy. It can buy some sort of comfort. So what is the truth? Okay, Jesus. This is how Jesus looks. Actually, I don't think this is how he looks. He looks too European to me. Yeah. Iran, the Jewish right now, I think they're mixed blood with like other countries, but I think like the real Jewish looks like Palestine. So they're darker. Yeah, the Middle Eastern. Okay, so the truth is we are created to be loved by God. Okay, everybody pay attention, okay? So this is what God is teaching us. We are created to be loved by God. So our purpose is not first what we do, but who we belong to, who we are being made. We are created to understand love. Make sense? Our purpose is to understand love. You don't have to say you love me because that's fake, okay? But love, understanding love is such a big thing. Okay, if human beings understand love, then we won't have all this conflict. Okay, look at your parents, they have conflict. Look at your siblings, you guys have conflict. All right. So understanding love gives us purpose. True purpose to our life, okay? Even Jesus, listen. So even Jesus, when being asked, he gave two greatest commandments. He says, you should love your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. You guys all heard this before? And you should love your neighbor as yourself. Who is your neighbor? People around you. Your parents, okay? You should love your parents. You should love your siblings. You should love classmates, just your neighbors, people around you. Okay, but what did Jesus leave out here? Jesus says, love God, love your neighbors. Did Jesus say love yourself? No, Jesus didn't say, right? Because when you know if you truly know how to love God and love your neighbor, then you will know how to love yourself. Make sense? So God is love, but God's love is so big, right? It's unconditional love. A lot of times we describe that to understand God's love is like holding a cup. Our knowledge of God's love is like holding a cup and scooping some seawater out of the ocean. Okay, we can only understand that cup of water, whereas God's love is vast like the ocean. Okay, that's how big unconditional love is. Okay, God doesn't just love you, He is love. God's love doesn't work like human love. Okay, human love, a lot of times we work on expectation, right? So for example, if you're good to me, I will love you, right? That's expectation. But God's love is no expectation. Even if you mess up, I love you. Okay, even if you do something wrong, I love you. So with that concept, that's why Jesus teaches us, if someone slaps you on the left cheek, what are you supposed to do? Beat the crap out of him, right? Because he slapped me. But that is what not love is. And a lot of times we're like, why is Jesus teaching us such weird things? But that's the whole purpose. Because through this kind of teaching, we can understand a little bit more of what unconditional love is. Because unconditional love is when you're being slapped, you still love the person. And with that, if we truly understand that, then there's going to be peace in our world, right? Right? What did Trump say? People are asking Trump and Pete Hegseth, our Secretary of War, like, why did we attack Iran? You know what they say? They said, we know that they're going to attack us, so we attack them first. It's a preemptive strike.
It's kind of hard there.
But you know what I'm talking about? We are not in the government. We really cannot control how the outcome of the war is, but you guys are all going to grow up, and everything that we learn from here, we can have true effects to our immediate surrounding, and that's good enough, because that will change the world a little bit. Make sense? So this is actually very important. God is love, and He's not just love, He's unconditional love. Okay? So I want to talk about identity and impact. Before we did anything right or wrong, God loves us. That's what I kind of mentioned just now, unconditional love. When we understand that, then we will change. Okay, when we understand that God's love is not based on our performance, then we won't stop doing a couple of things. We won't stop comparing ourselves. We do something because of who we are. So for example, next time your sibling pisses you off, you practice unconditional love. All right? You don't compare. You're not comparing like, oh, he did it first, right? You're not comparing. You're not always trying to perform, right? You're not trying to prove yourself. Okay, you're doing it because you understand a little bit more of what God's unconditional love is and the purpose of your life. So that is how we build our identity, is through the pursuit of understanding God's love. All right, so as we come to almost the end of today's sermon, if this life is all there is, then nothing really matters long term. You guys are still young right now, but imagine, put yourself in the mind frame, if you're 70, 80 years old, and you know that the end is coming, right? When was the last time you guys saw your grandparents? Okay. Last summer, do you guys go back to Taiwan every single year? Almost every year? Do you realize a thing is, you get to see them once a year, right? How many more years do you think they have left? How old is the grandparents again? 80? 快90了. Not that long, man. Not that long. 10 years? If your life ends in 10 years, do you think that's very long? I hope your grandma lasts 10 more years, maybe 20 years. But anyways, yeah, so what I'm trying to say is there is an end line, right? So if our life ends when we die, and that's it, then really there's nothing to look for, right? But we believe something else in Christianity. We believe that there is a place that we go after when we die, right? Right. Some people call it heaven, but that's eternity, right? So the thing is, our life right now is so that we can become that person, so that we can cross over, right? So understanding our purpose gives us the ability so that we can find that path. Okay, so I want to share with you one more knowledge today, okay? We're talking about God is love, and the meaning of life is actually to understand God's love, right? So Jesus teaches us how to pray in Matthew 6, and this is very, very important. I remember this prayer when I was going to Catholic. I was sharing with you guys, I was sent away for high school to this Catholic church, Catholic private school, and I didn't take away anything from that Catholic school, because it was so traditional. The priest spoke in Latin, but they did teach us this prayer, okay, and it never clicked with me until like when I become a Christian. It says, "Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done." Blah 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 blah. We all heard this prayer before, right? This is not the first time we're hearing, right? Really? What? Okay, then if that's the case, let's look at the prayer, because this is a very important prayer, okay? Okay, so to put it in context, Jesus right here now is teaching his disciple a whole bunch of things, right? So here, Jesus says, when you pray, do not be like hypocrites who love to pray standing in front of synagogue. More like a performance prayer, right? Like, a lot of times you see people like that. They're praying, "Oh, Lord, I love you." Like, it's more like a performance, right? The real prayer is not like that. A real prayer is when you're in your room, just between you and God, right? And you're praying for yourself, done in secret, right? And this is the way you should pray. It says, and God and Jesus is not teaching the disciples to pray this repeatedly, but to understand this. Okay, it says, this is how you should pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debt, and also we also have forgiven our debtors. Okay, so forgive us and teach us how to forgive others, right? And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. All right, so this is a template that we should pray. But to understand this prayer, I really want to bring you guys to this slide right here, because a lot of times we always think, "Oh, I have to be a Christian because I want to go to heaven," but that's not true. Okay, Because this prayer right here teaches us, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. We have the ability to bring heaven to earth. Okay. And how do we do it? By understanding God's love. Isn't it nice that we could actually live like heaven on earth? Okay. So this is not just a poetic language, but a mission statement. Heaven is the place where God's will is fully obeyed, right? In the prayer, God's will be done on earth as it is heaven. Heaven is when God's presence is fully experienced, that we can experience God right now through Jesus, right? And God's way are fully lived. So let what is normal in heaven become normal in our daily life and in this world. So heaven is not just a place, it is a way of being, okay? Because in heaven, there's love, there's peace, there's truth, there's no pride, there's no hate, there's no selfishness. And that's all achievable through God's unconditional love here on earth. So our purpose of life, very important, okay? This is the punchline of today's sermon. Our purpose of life, the initial questions we've been asking this morning is to carry that culture into our everyday life. I'm ending with this slide right here, that we are actually the bridge so that heaven can touch earth through us. Isn't that a big purpose? Isn't that a big purpose? That's a huge purpose. If that doesn't give you a purpose, gives you like, if it doesn't make your goosebumps stand up, I don't know what was, right? But it's not easy because God's unconditional love is so vast, right? So with that, I hope that we can all understand a tiny little bit of what's the purpose of our life. And it's overall, the purpose is very romantic, okay? Because a lot of times we ask ourselves, what's the purpose of believing in Jesus being the Son of God? Like, what's the point of that? What is the purpose of being baptized? What is the purpose of being Christian? This is the purpose, right? And Jesus teaches us that the abundance truly will flow into our life because we can live heaven on earth. Make sense? All right, let's end with today. Let's have our special guest, Christina. Let's do an ending prayer for us, please. Amen. All right, let's break into groups and then do a quick prayer. And then we'll end today's. Yeah, that's the sun. Not yet. Girls, break into groups, and then you guys, you got you four. Like turn around, you four, the four of you. The four of you guys. Same format. Pray for. Okay. Share one thing about what happened in your past week, and then have the person on your left pray for you something this week. Okay.